I have fear not being the dad that I need to be to my other two kids.
Something that I fear now is driving. I don't like driving.
So a fear that I have is now that it's been brought up to me is, do I show my other two kids appreciation? Do I show them love?
I have is since my son passed is I don't have his voice recorded on anything.
Well, since my kids had medical needs, um, one of the fears I've faced has been wondering if my daughter will face kind of a similar scenario as my son did.
We were in an automobile accident when my boys passed, and driving is very difficult for me now.
I see us going down a road that we discuss a lot about, what's going on with the foundation, and we talk a lot about Austin.
I've got a little bit of video here and there, but there's nothing. And I found some video on his phone that he took, and he never utters a word. And my big fear is I'm afraid I'm not going to remember what his voice sounds like.
Now, my son was more medically fragile, but my daughter still has all of the same issues.
My oldest child, my daughter, brought up to me this past week that she feels like we don't spend time with them.
We were on a country road where the accident happened, so that's when it gets really bad for me.
I have a fear of him being forgotten.
In the back of my brain, I sit back and think, well, she's healthy as she can be, but because she's got chronic issues, that's always a possibility, if you will.
And we don't cherish time with them. So right now, that's it's been brought to my attention. It's a fear that I have.
I'm afraid people are going to forget him and forget who he was and that he was such an amazing kid.
A big one that gets me too is just worrying about my family and my friends and all the people that I am close to. And if they were to die, what would that do to me?
The other fear I've faced is, lately I've been kind of in a funk about everything related to grief.
In the process of losing my son, that I might lose, my daughter or my other son, because we don't show them the attention that they deserve and the time that they deserve.
Or if they were to die and it was my fault, how is that something that I could go through?
Smart, valedictorian, and da-da-da-da-da,
I know how my brain works and how I obsess about things.
So I made a deal with my daughter.
I just don't want that to disappear forever.
Once a month, we would get together and do something, the four of us, my daughter, her husband, my wife, and I.
My fear would be not being able to get out of that funk.
I hate driving in the country. The country's horrible.
That's a real concern of mine, just with my past history with depression and everything associated with it.
Like I said, being an adequate father right now is my biggest fear. So